Hello, guys and gals and other folk out there. I'm finally somewhat back to making normal videos, despite being gone so long. Sorry the gameplay is going to be a little bit boring in this one, but I was in the middle of playing EU4. I just kind of wanted to still play it. And real quick, you guys don't have to mention this, but I did do some tactical Alt F4ing because it's a casual game. I'm not save scumming for achievements or anything. By the way, I know a technical end joke is going to be made in the comments. But with all that out of the way, I wanted to bring to your attention some other, albums not projects, they're projects from Rav that I'm including here. These are in order, by the way. So today is just like a 1.5 episode for projects that aren't necessarily albums. And I know the B-sides and rarities are kind of debatable on whether or not they're albums or not. But I classify them as albums. And it's ranking albums and B-sides. I started making this thing even before Leap even, which I'm surprised. So I'll include talking about Leap in another video. Still not in my top 3 albums, from Rav, but I did get the Leap CD, which is amazing. So the first project is not an album, and actually like my favorite thing in this, obviously, since it's like first up, best to worst, which was a very hard choice, but it would have to be the Hyperkinesis EP. Reason being, it's just, like, it's awesome. Despite being a short, unfinished project, or so it seems, even though Rab says it's finished. Rav. And shorter, less professionally mixed tracks, it just has to do with the overall vibe. It talks more down to earth and less in a, exclusive depressive state where it's hopeless, and kind of like an arrogant, joking, I don't know, cool kind of way of depressiveness. I don't want to say depressiveness is cool because it's not, but just kind of in a nonchalant way, especially with Vicodin or something like that, just like a humorous take on it. And it has some of my favorite Rav songs of all time on there, like the before mentioned Vicodin, Nostalgia Bot, Abandon. All the other songs are amazing and could easily be a top Rav song and be completely valid. One thing I will mention that I really appreciate about this EP is how he uses these lyrics on some other songs. He reuses them. Like for example, in Daisuke Desu, you and I were like the petals of a lotus, blah blah blah, which I think it's on EXP Share, which is an amazing song with a great remix on Spotify, and on Suicidal, where it's just the last verses of you fuckers were asking for this one. Over a Doom beat even, which R.I.P. Doom, man. I got 2 of his vinyls and his CD. I love Doom. But this leads us into another reason why this is my favorite non-album project, the beats. Every single instrumental is easily recognizable and easy to find, with elevator music on Abandoned, Earth by MF Grimm's instrumental on Nostalgia Bot, Foster the Kicks, beat. I don't think that's how it originally was in the song, but I don't listen to Foster the Kicks because I don't listen to indie rock. And if they're not recognizable even, like I said before, they're very, very easy to find. I like all of the songs really though, but if I had to pick a least favorite, it would have to be Void. It's not a bad song, but it's the least overwhelming. And there's not too much deviation from Modern Rav, which I'm not saying Modern Rav is bad. I love Modern Rav, and I just like the new song that they did today. However, I did appreciate the old school style of Rav 2, which is what this EP is. I think it's his second project even. Which I really like the old school type beats on this EP too, which is kind of like a theme with old Rav stuff like B-Sides Volume 1 and The Discovered and, Hyperkinesis. It's really enjoyable with the old school beats. What's next? Topics. Quite relatable to most angsty teens like me. And a pretty good second project overall. At least I think it's the second after The Discovered. But, I didn't mention my favorite song, and this is going to be a little bit ad-libbed in. It's either a debate between Abandon or Vicodin. And the reason it's not any of the other songs is because a lot of them are short. Like the one he did with Subtle Nuance, Suicidal, Daisuke Desu is kind of short, not really though. But if I had to pick a favorite, it's either Vicodin or Abandon. I love Nostalgia Bot, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it can really compare to those other two. I'm gonna have to say Abandon though. I like Vicodin, it's my second favorite, one of the first Rav songs I've ever heard almost 5 years ago now, which is crazy. Seems like I just found out about Rav the other day. But Vicodin, it's an amazing song. But the thing is Nostalgia Bot has or not Nostalgia Bot, Abandon has a really sick Bill collab, a Bill feature, and I love Kill Bill. My second favorite artist of all time. I even did get the Full Metal Kaiju CD when that came out a few months ago, like 3 now, because I got it in June. And man, I wish I had a car, so I was bumping that all summer. But I'm 16. I just turned 16 in July. I don't need a car. Anyways, Nostalgia Bot's another good contender, but Abandon is just my favorite, better beat in my opinion. I know that Nostalgia Bot is, I think, the first ever Scuare feature, which I love Scuare too. But for first, I'm gonna have to hand it out to the Hyperkinesis EP for the top project. And I think earlier earlier before I started talking about the script, or not talking about the script, like reciting the script that I wrote for this, which I know seems a little bit dishonest. I stumble over my words whenever I don't have a script, and I just wrote it 5 minutes ago. Anyways, I'm going to put it first. I think you guys have already heard a few songs. If not, I'll put those right here. So yeah, it's time to just move on to the next one. Alright, so here's the second one, which this may surprise you, what the last one is, but the second one is going to have to be the Discovered EP, I know. Like I said, the third one is gonna get you. You're not gonna understand why, but I'll explain. Which, like I said, is gonna surprise you guys. But let me explain. This is actually Rav's first ever released project. Well, he didn't release it. It's kind of unreleased, but someone released it on their own on YouTube, which I shouldn't have listened to it to respect Rav's wishes, but it's whatever. Whenever I heard this for the first time, I actually wasn't too impressed. And to be perfectly honest, I'm still not too crazy for it, but I do like it. Let me get into why I'm not, like, super, impressed by it, after putting the snippets of the songs here. So those you heard, So you heard those, no sarcasm here, pretty awesome songs, which I can agree, those are pretty amazing. But let me give you some insight as to why this isn't that great of an EP overall, at least compared to other Rav stuff. First off, I'm gonna have to discuss the lyrical content. It's somewhat akin to that of like B-Sides 1 level stuff, which B-Sides 1 is probably the worst in lyrical content. Not really that rich in meaning, just good shit. Which I can respect, but it's not really what I look for. I do look for emotional meaning, be it angry, sad. Well, I guess you could argue that this stuff is kind of emotionally intelligent, but the bars themselves just aren't as impressive as newer Rav bars, or even on Hyperkinesis. I will say, though, that some of the songs do include some pretty rich lyrical content. However, I do suggest you go listen to it yourself so that you can formulate your own educated opinion. I'm not going to tell you what songs do and don't have it, because I'm already putting my opinion out there. I don't need scrutinized even more. His flow is a little whack on a few of these songs, which I guess is understandable. And the worst part, I don't think he even released the Overlooked EP. Oh, okay, I'm joking. But if anyone has the MP3s to those, I would gladly take them. Or a link to like a random site which has them totally virus-free. Anyways, we're getting too distracted. On to the next point. I also slightly take back the flow part. The flow on Until, pretty good. But here's the next point. The instrumentals he used were amazing. Some old school rappers beats too, like Electric Relaxation by A Tribe Called Quest. Dude, crazy that he took that beat and was able to actually kill it too. And will I say it's better than the original rappers? Hell no. But I will say that Be Yourself, Free Yourself, he killed the bars on that, which is pretty impressive with the flow. I will also say he did that for One Time For Your Mind. Now, I know that there was another like rap group that did use that, or maybe even a rap person, but I think it was a group that did use that beat. And someone told me one time on One Time For Your Mind 2 in the comment section, but I forget. I don't feel like checking for it right now. You could probably find my comment in the One Time For Your Mind 2 video in the comment section, and you'll be able to see. And he killed it there too. But all in all, the way it sounds with the cool beats, limited good lyrical content. However, some of the lyrics are pretty good and relatable, just not up to modern rap standards. I don't want to completely shit on him for lyrical content because it's not bad. It's just not what Rav would put out now, and it doesn't mean as much that, like, it doesn't mean as much, like, compared to newer rap, like, stuff on Leap, dude, that is just the, like, or I'm On To Me, even, those two, amazing. And, oh, one thing I forgot to mention, it does kind of talk about how it's, like, him just, like, coming up. He's a new rapper at this point. He did make stuff in the past, I'm sure, but this is, like, 18-year-old rap, you know? This is newer rap shit. And he was still doing pretty good. And he did do the, like, thing where he talks about him coming up. And I can't appreciate that. I really can. So I don't like it. It's a really good EP. It's a shame he doesn't release his older stuff like this, but I understand why. Copyright issues, probably embarrassed because it's all of his first stuff. But I will say, overall, Rav does not need to be embarrassed of this EP. He kills it here better than I ever could. If I had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd have to give it a 7 or a 6. And if I had to do Hyperkinesis, I'd have to give it an 8, man. There's just really good stuff. Maybe Hyperkinesis a 7 and The Discovered a 6. And this next one is going to shock you, especially with how I rate it, because I would rate it like a 10 out of 10. But you'll understand why in a moment after I, talk about it. Alright, so we're back with the third one. I can put things down. Sorry, someone just called me on Discord if you heard that. I can put some things, like some of the songs down, but you probably heard them all. So the next one is going to be the Vestiges project. I think it's a mixtape. And you might be like, well, why is this so low on your list? It all includes really good songs, and I would agree. Every single song is extremely good, but here's the thing. I can't appreciate it for what it is because it's not an original project. What do you mean it's not an original project? Rav made it. Yeah, he made it. But here's the thing. Every single one of the songs on there is from another B-sides and rarities. I know all the B-sides and rarities are like mixtapes, but this is like a mixtape of other mixtapes. And it would just be a shame if I put this above something original, a little bit more creative than like Hyperkinesis or the Discovered EP. I like all the songs on Vestiges, and I will say objectively it is the best here, but I'm going to have to put it at my least favorite because of the fact that all of the songs in there, like I said earlier, are from previous B-sides and rarities. I think strictly B-sides and rarities. I don't know where And That's Me comes from, to be real, but I know Columbia comes from B-sides 4. Silent Pterodactyls come from 5.5. Hypocrisy from 3. I don't know why I forgot that. I don't know where Invite came from, but, you get the point. Every single one of these is from different other B-sides and rarities projects. And the thing is another reason I put it so low, and I kind of saved the worst for last here, because if I tried to explain this at the beginning, and I'm not saying this for viewer retention reasons, but you guys would probably get bored because I don't have that much of an analysis for a project like this because I can't, like any meaning that would have to be derived from this wouldn't be possible in the overall vibe because it's all different songs. I will say that it does include all of these songs that have somewhat similar meanings, like kind of like sweets almost. You know what I mean? But like overall, it doesn't have a combined style, a combined anything. It's all just willy-nilly songs put there that Rav liked from his other projects, which I can't blame him. I would do the same thing. That's kind of what Epic Mixtape was from Societal Gamers. It was just songs that I made that were not unreleased that I thought, hey, I'll like put these on like a mixtape and make it funny. And of course, Societal Gamers is part parody, especially with Epic Mixtape. Maybe not with New Beats, but with Epic Mixtape, it was parody of other. It's a really long thing to explain. Sorry, I'm like stuttering. To explain. But we're getting distracted from the point. Overall, Vestiges, great project, really respectable. I like the little like snippets of clips put in there that's just kind of like put in there in between songs. Like I think in between, it's either Good Night and Nausicaa or Nausicaa and Hovercraft Flow. Either in between those two or at the beginning. And I like that he included so many different diverse like things. Because the point of it's to be a mixtape. It's not to, kind of like show a specific. I don't have like a big word for show. It's not, but it's not to present like any sort of a style. It's not to demonstrate any sort of like meaning or just style is a really good blanket term for this, like flow, lyrics, meaning, beats, all that. It's all just kind of like songs that are really good put together in a mixtape, which people don't do that anymore. I mean, you got playlists, which is like the same thing as a mixtape. I mean, shit, I got a Spotify playlist with 5,000 songs on it. But, you know, if you put this on a cassette tape and put it in your car, it would really have that vibe of a mixtape because it's just songs that are really good. It would be better if a lot of those songs fit together better, but I guess he kind of does do that with like Sweets a little bit. But for example, And That's Me, Columbia, those two songs together, that would make for a really good transition or just like a really good thing. But if he put Hypocrisy before Silent Pterodactyls with those three songs together, right, it would make kind of like a melancholic suite. I don't know, but you get the point. All the songs are good, however, it's just a mixtape of other songs that are good. Therefore, it doesn't really have that much of a creative, like, creation process. And I can't really think of other Rav things that are not... Like, I'm trying to take this 3 at a time with each thing. So here's, like, my outro here. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this, if you did. I'm not going to be the type to say drop a like and subscribe. I could give a shit less. I just care if people watch it or not. Or have any insight. I guess comments do boost, but I do like discussion on this type of stuff. So if you got any quarrels or any, you know, nice messages, or if you just want to be an asshole, so be it. Put it in the comments. I am always going to come back with something. And I'm sorry that I was sick this whole time, you know. I'm going to get my resolution for independence out, you know, my last clause of this video and this outro, all the apologies, all that. Sorry for not uploading. I'm sorry I'm sick. You know, classic me. I apologize for all that shit. It was really hard not coughing in this video. I did once. You could almost pass it off as, like, intentional, though. But, like, you know, if you got something to say, put it in the comments. I'll be sure to look. I'm trying to take all of these 3 at a time. I hope that this, like, video was a bit more structured than the last one. The last one was good. I did appreciate it. I like how a lot of people looked at it. But I have some older videos that I really regret making because it's just, like all the albums that are popular, and I don't do that. I like all the albums that are, like, I want to do everything. So here was my unofficial, like, 0.5 ranking all Rav albums / projects / all that jazz. Basically everything else I classify as an album, though. I'll be sure to see you in the next video when I make it. And I just hope you guys have a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys later. Like I said, just like, bye guys. Listen to Rav. If you have any suggestions for anything else, any other artists I should check out, put it there. But my main thing is I hope that this was more structured, more put together than the last video. I had scripts. I gave better understandings. I wasn't as tired. I didn't sound as tired. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. I love you all. Goodbye.